Hello and welcome to another episode of a crazy little thing called Lovdev. In today's episode, we go down another Reddit rabbit hole. We are going to discuss what happens when there's a neighbour's feud, that one person who always thinks they own the whole street, and then it absolutely backfires on them. What happens to an elderly woman who lived under the Taliban rule becomes a widow? Very interesting question. In the weird news, we've got a story about psychedelic mushrooms. We also discover in India there's actually a temple for rats. Unbelievable. There's all that and a lot more in today's episode of 229 Temple of Shrooms. Hiya, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to another episode of this. Yes, it's me recording this on a day off from when I should be somewhere in a comedy club or driving back from a comedy club. Another weekend without gigs. Unbelievable. I don't know what's going on. Did do one on Thursday, though, which was helpful. Up in Huddersfield for a friend of mine called Howard Walker, who runs Tickledonian's Comedy Club. And it was great. It was in a like a social bar type of music venue, I think I'm going to call it, because they have a lot of tribute acts there and stuff like that. So, and they have a regular audience, so it was sold out. They sold over 100 tickets, which was nice. Nice room, nice audience. I had a lot of fun. So yes, it was nice to do a gig. Although it was a Thursday, but it was fine. Do you know what I mean? Got to do something. Otherwise, it will send me absolutely nuts. I did go on a TikTok live today. Haven't been on live for ages. The reason I went on live was because today my son had a friend's birthday party and I had to take him there, and it's in a little complex called Star City in Birmingham. Star City is basically like, what's the word? I don't know what the word is, but they've got a cinema, they've got bowling alleys, restaurants. They used to have a club, funny enough, years ago. They don't have that now. Then you can do stuff like that. You can have a dessert. There's Taco Bell's, Costa, Pizza Hut, Nando's, etc. So it's that type of place where you can do loads of activities. And I forgot what you call it. I was going to say an amusement place, but it's not really, although they have got rides and stuff. But anyway, I took him there and I had to go in a taxi because my car is currently getting serviced by my mechanic. Now, I can't remember if I told you this, but I had a little bump where I went to get a tyre changed and I ended up reversing into a bollard, and that bollard caused damage on my exhaust, which pushed it in. Then the exhaust pipe started melting the plastic around the bumper, and it was a real nightmare. And it's burnt one of the wires, which happens to be the sensors for the back of the car. So now I've got no sensors on the back, my bumper's ruined, and it needs a service, and it needs something else as well, DPF or something. My car is still in the garage. I dropped it on Friday, and it's still there, so it looks like I'll be using the wife's car to travel to work on the Monday. And I'll be honest, I don't really want to take a car. I like driving my own. I went in a car today to go and get some chips, right, from the chip shop. And her seat's so far back. I thought, bloody hell, why is the seat so back? It's like, like you get the youth, I don't even want to call them youths, but the young ones that sit all the way back of the car. That's what it was literally like. And I was like, freaking hell, she's only 5'3". I don't know why her seat's so far back. I had to adjust it myself. I was like, you haven't even got a stomach, so I don't know why it's like that. It's weird. Does anyone else drive like that? Because I don't. I think I used to, but I don't anymore. But so I'm going to have to use that anyway. And in other news, I've booked a holiday. Yep, I'm going abroad in August. Me and the family booked a holiday to Tunisia. Staying at a little island called Djerba, which is a tiny little island on the outskirts of Tunisia mainland. But I believe there's a bridge that crosses it. So it should be fine. I don't know the reason why I chose that. It just looked like a nice place. They've got lovely beaches there. I haven't been to Tunisia in a very, very long time. My daughter was, about a year old when we went. And now, she's 17, so it's been nearly, 16 years, 17 years since we last went there, so that should be good. Don't think my kids are looking forward to the holiday. I say my kids, my daughter, to be honest with me. I told her that I booked the holiday, and she was like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me, Dad? I didn't. What did you book Germany? What did you book Tunisia?" Oh, she was proper moaning. I said, "Why why don't you want to go there?" She just, it doesn't look that nice. I said, "It's all right. You'll have fun once we're there." The kids want to stay in a hotel resort. You know me, I like to book a villa. I like my own privacy, prefer my own pool. I can stay in there till as long as I want. Nobody's kicking me out after 9 o'clock. Now the kids are like, "No, I want to stay in a proper hotel. I want to mingle." So do you want to mingle with? Probably all just speak French. Who do you know that? You don't even know any French. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there's that palaver as well. But I booked it now anyway, and I'll be looking at villas. Don't know where to stay. Mrs. wants to do what we did last year, where we had our own, say, personal cook. It's somebody who's looked after the place and they cooked for us, which obviously you got to pay for, which is fine. So my wife wants that luxury now. She's like, "Oh no, you got to find something like that." So I don't know how I'm going to find it, but I suppose I will. So I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, you're not going to go to Edinburgh Fringe now because of that, but I wasn't going to go anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? But talking about finding things, let's find this. Yes, it's what the... Yeah, it's something that I found. I was talking about it today when I was on live because I was talking about restaurants, and then this thing come up, which I saw originally on TikTok, and I thought, that would be something interesting to talk about on my podcast. What is it? I'll tell you what it is. Did you know there's a temple of rats? Yeah, an actual temple dedicated to rats. Where else can it be in the world but obviously in India? They love animals there, and if you're an animal lover, just move yourself to India. If you love rats, this is like heaven for you, probably. It's called the Kani Mata Temple, often called the Temple of Rats. One of India's most unusual and famous temples. It's located around 19 miles away from Bikaner, where I don't know where that is. The temple is home to around 20 to 25,000 rats known as kabas. They're unlike ordinary rats. They are considered sacred and are cared for by the temple. According to local belief, the rats are reincarnated members of the family and followers of Kani Mata. Now, legends say that when Kani Mata's stepson died, she asked the god of death to bring him back. Instead, he was actually reborn as a rat, and from then on, her followers, who'd be reincarnated as rats as well, before returning as humans. Now, what happens if you decide to think, "Oh, you know what, I'm going to go to this Kani Mata temple. I'm not that bothered about rats, so let's go and have a look at it." So when you get to the temple, you have to remove your shoes before entering. You have to walk among the rats, which are run freely all over the floors. They feed them milk, sweets, and grains. So you have to provide those three things: milk, sweet, and grains. Consider it a blessing if a rat actually runs over your feet. I think I know what I'll be doing if a rat ran over my feet. If you accidentally kill one of the rats, now tradition says you must replace it with a solid silver or a gold rat, depending on what the temple's custom is. So if you happen to step on a rat by accident, you would have to tell one of the people there and go, "What do you want, silver or gold?" And but then that's not cheap nowadays. And I wonder what they do with a silver or gold rat. Quite interesting. Among the thousands of black rats, there are actually a handful of white rats, which are extremely rare. Spotting one is considered a good sign of good luck and blessings, and many visitors spend ages trying to find one. One of the surprising things about the temple is that despite the huge number of rats, there have been remarkably few reports of disease outbreaks linked towards them. Now, the rats are well fed and protected within the temple grounds, and the temple is clean on a regular basis. So people come all over the world to see that. All over India and the whole world go to this temple. You can experience one of the most unusual religious sites on planet Earth. Seek a blessing from the Kali Mata herself. Witness an extraordinary relationship between humans and sacred rats. Try to spot one of those elusive white rats. It is one of the most memorable temples you're ever going to see. And whether you find it fascinating, unsettling, it's unlike anywhere else in the world. Right, now that we moved on, what a fascinating story that is, a temple of rats. I wonder if there's any other temples of another animal. And funny enough, I did find out, actually. Why not? It's all content, isn't it? I asked my trusted friend, Chat LGBTQ. Now, believe it or not, apart from the rat temple, there's also a monkey temple, there's a sacred deer temple, and there is a snake temple. Yes, these are obviously in India and I believe in places like Nepal and Thailand. So yes, there are actual temples dedicated to animals. Fascinating stuff. I wonder if in the future we're going to have a temple for aliens. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? You could imagine a new theme park in the UK. What would it be for us? Probably dogs, isn't it? We love dogs. It'd be a temple for dogs, probably in the UK. Talking about features, I believe there's a new Universal Studios being built in the United Kingdom. Can't remember if I mentioned this earlier. I'll probably have in one of my episodes, but that is the new thing to come into the UK, which is good, I suppose. I mean, they made loads of great movies, haven't they? E.T., Jaws, I believe. What else has Universal made? They made Minions. They made a load of money from that, didn't they? And, loads of other great movies. Probably Transformers, am I right? I could be wrong. I don't know. But, yeah, that's something to look forward to in the UK. Talking about looking forward to, let's crack on with the podcast and do a confession. And, yes, we're going to stick to the same jingle we always do. Red is the preach. It's time to do a confession. Right, let's see whose confession it is today. It is... Who is it? I've got to go on the page to see who it is. Fearless State has a confession. Fearless State, obviously from Reddit. Got to mention that. Neighbour reported my dad's driveway. Oh, what's your dad's driveway done? So I reported the garage he wasn't even supposed to have. Oh, it's a neighbour and neighbour turf war. Neighbours from Hell. Who remembers that TV show? I used to love that. There's a TV show in the UK called Neighbours from Hell. Probably there's an American one as well. But the British one was great. And you think, friggin' hell. I bet we've all got mad neighbours, haven't we? There's always one person you think is a bit not right in the head. And if you don't have one, it's probably you. So yes, neighbour reported for his driveway. Let's find out what's happened. A guy moved into our neighbourhood about a year ago. From day one, he acted like he owned the whole place. Oh, God, one of them. He was always watching what everyone was doing and then complaining about something. A few months ago, he reported my dad to the city because he claimed our driveway extension was built illegally. My dad was pretty stressed because he didn't want to deal with all that, but luckily, he still had all the permits from when it was done years ago. So the inspector came out and looked at everything for maybe 10 minutes and basically said, everything is fine. That should be the end of it. But now this guy kept acting all smug after that, like he was just waiting to catch someone else. So one night I got curious and looked through his city permits records online. I searched his address and couldn't find anything for the huge detached garage he built behind his house. Then I noticed from the property map that he looked way too close to the fence. I took a couple of pictures from the sidewalk, filled out a report and attached the parcel number, and that was it. 3 weeks later, Another inspector showed up at his house. Ooh, I wonder what happened. Turns out the garage never had a permit and didn't even meet the setback requirements either. Oh dear for him. Since it was built pretty recently, he couldn't get it grandfathered in. Now, I believe that means couldn't get permission to build it. I believe this is in the US. They gave him the choice of fixing it or tearing part of it down. Last week, contractors came and removed almost half of it. Ha 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 ha! Joke's on him now. Now, every time he walks outside his house, he has to look at our perfectly legal driveway, while his garage looks like someone took a giant bite out of it. My dad still has no idea I was the one that reported him, but a part of me feels like I should feel bad about it. No, you shouldn't. And they do say, honestly though, I don't. Good on you. Isn't that such a backfire on people? I hate people like that. Oh, got to complain about something. What have they done? And then you end up, you know what? You don't need people like that in your life. My neighbour's getting an extension done on the back of their garden, which is fine. And at a point, I did think to myself, is this the legal requirement length they're allowed to have? So I asked another neighbour, and he said, yeah, it's about right. But he's had to extend his back as well, because he said, I've got no sunlight, because they've extended it out. It's like the rear of the house. He's lost a bit of the sunlight, and now he's had to extend his lounge as well. And I was like, thank God he wasn't on my side. Because I spent a lot of money doing my house up, and I couldn't afford any more money. I didn't even have money for a holiday, do you know what I mean? Well, that was a very good confession. Thank you so much to Fearless State for sending that over. You know, I'm trying to think, what else can I talk about? What have I done? And today I was like, oh yeah, you can do this and you can do that. And it's all got out of my head, to be honest with you. I feel like I've gone a little bit stupid. Which brings me on to the subject of no stupid questions. No stupid, no stupid, no stupid, no stupid, no stupid questions. Right, who's put this one up? Somebody called Alpha. Apologies if I've mispronounced your name, Alpha. Anyway, whatever your question is, let's see what the no stupid question is. That still doesn't sound right. What is wrong with me today? I don't know. I think I need to do a gig. Somebody please give me a gig. Okay, forget all that. What happens if an elderly woman living under the Taliban becomes widowed and has no living male relative? Very good question. Because I don't know what the actual person is allowed to do if they're married to an actual Taliban. Does that even make sense? I don't know. But let's see. I was just watching the video on YouTube talking about an American woman who is going to move to Afghanistan to be with her LDR husband. In the video, which is criticising her choice due to the extreme lack of rights for women in that country. At this time, they mention how women in Afghanistan, under Taliban rule, he's put in brackets, are not allowed in public without a man with them. Right, I get it. So if you're a widow, what happens if you go out in the public in Afghanistan under the Taliban rule? That is a very good question. Does the Taliban... I don't know what I'm calling the Taliban. Does the Taliban woman get married again to another Taliban man? Or does she wear something to say she is a widow? Now, in the Indian or Asian culture, when there's a widow, an elderly widow, or even a young widow, that person tends to wear white, I believe, or cream all the time. I might be wrong. I think I'm right, though. So that signifies that the woman is a widow, and I don't think she wants to get married again. So that's why people wear white. So if you see an Indian lady in a white sari or a dress, then that's usually the indication. I might be wrong, but I might have to ask Chat LGBTQ about that one. But let's read further on this post, because this is an interesting question. More of a no stupid question. It's an interesting question. If an elderly woman's husband passes away and she has no living male relatives, how is she able to continue about her day-to-day life? How would she get groceries, go to the doctors, socialise? Are women even allowed to socialise there? I don't know. I've never been. I presume that a lot of them are in their houses, but that's me being stereotypical. I could be wrong about that. He's saying, I don't agree with the way things are for women over there, but I'm curious if there is a way they do things for situations like these. Now in brackets, but please do not use the comment section of my post as a platform for any racism, sexism, bigotry in general. Let's keep it very civil. That is a very good thing to say. Now, before we find out the answers, I'm not going to ask Chat LGBTQ for your answer, but I want to just clarify that what I said is partially right. Believe it or not, I did ask Chat LGBTQ plus my question, and it replied back to me. It said, yes, traditionally there have been cases in many Hindu communities in India, but it's much less common now today, as varies by region, family, and the actual personal choice. Traditionally, a Hindu woman who becomes a widow might wear plain white clothing, which is associated with mourning, simplicity, and renunciation. They will stop wearing colourful saris. They will remove symbols such as red powder in their hair, a bindi, bangles, toe rings, jewellery, anything like that. That's to say they are kind of like the widows now, and they're going to wear white. Now, many widows do not wear white in India. Many continue to wear coloured clothes and jewellery if they wish to. Attitudes have changed significantly, particularly among the younger generations. So as time is developing now, less people are doing the tradition of wearing white. But historically, yes, it says, wearing white was often indicated a woman was a widow. Today, it's no longer a reliable indicator, as many widows choose not to follow that tradition, and custom varies widely across India. Obviously, because India is a very big country, and there's all sorts of walks of life, different cultures, languages, etc. It is a very interesting thing, I think. I don't know what you guys think about it that are listening. I think it's quite fascinating, and I really am pleased that Alpha has asked this question. Now, going back to their question, how do they live their lives? I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert, and I don't want to ask Chat LGBTQ+, because it will probably know the answer, but what I am going to do is read a couple of the comments that people have replied back to them about it. Someone has said, I've seen a couple of interviews with elderly widows in Afghan who were taken in by neighbours or family friends to help the wives around the house. Okay. Several families from Afghan in the community, two of them have distantly related elderly women with them. So the definition of family is different in the West. No family here means no siblings and parents who have passed. No family mean there is no shared ancestor for 4 generations back. Wow. Which is hard to find in a very small town. It still doesn't really answer the question, does it? So the Taliban probably just like rehome them, don't they? This is a guess now. I'm just taking a guess. I think what the Taliban probably do is they probably just still look after that person. Maybe. I don't know. You know, like Pablo Escobar, he looked after everybody, didn't he? So I reckon that's what the Taliban do. So if say some Taliban member got killed in whatever it was, and he was married, they probably have a duty to look after that woman now, because he served basically like a soldier in a way, didn't he? If you know what I mean. Maybe I don't know, but it's definitely not a no stupid question. And thank you so much for sending that in. I was gonna move on, but I feel like I could talk about it for ages, but I can't, obviously, because I've got to edit this and then do this and then do that. So let's end the podcast. But I feel like, I have to do it. I can't help it. It's this. It's a British problem. We've got too many of them now. Too many. Honestly, mate, when I was on TikTok Live, there was a bloke on there. He just kept moaning and moaning, kept saying your lot. I don't know what he meant, but I wasn't going to get him. Let someone like him get to me. Some inhuman person who's got no morals or no feelings. But anyway, forget all that. This one being put up by Cumulus Crafts. I feel like I shouldn't have said the first bit, but it is Cumulus. So Cumulus, what is your problem? Shops, chemists, banks acting like they're still a stay-at-home partner in every household. Oh, what do you mean by that? Let's delve down into it. I'm an office worker. Well done, mate. He works from 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. That's the perfect shift, isn't it? Let me get a coffee before work from this local cafe. Oh God, it opens at 9 o'clock. Okay, I'll just make coffee at work. Better pick up the prescription on my lunch break. Even the pharmacy is closed between 1 and 2. That's fine. I've got some money to deposit at the bank after work, so I'll just do it then. But it closes at 3. Oh God. But it's fine. I can go to the cafe on the weekend. It's closed on the weekends. I understand that probably most people don't work from 9 to 5, but it feels like the high street is still set up in a way that stay-at-home partners can go out and do the errands during the day while you work. Now I know exactly what you mean, and I totally agree with you. It's funny enough, I was driving to work, and I never made a sandwich. And I thought, I've got to get some food. But I start work at 8. And I didn't want to go to Tesco, although they open early, the Tesco Express, because I don't really like their sandwiches. So I thought, maybe I can go to Aldi on the way to work. Drove past it. It was still shut. I thought, oh, bloody hell. It's gone past, it was about 7:30. I thought, oh, God, it's not even open. What time does it open? 9 o'clock. I thought, oh, man, what am I supposed to do? So, yeah, I totally understand what you mean, because when I get home from work, it's 6 o'clock, and I got to pick something up from the post office, which is usually a vinted parcel or an Every or something like that, and I can't do it because they lock up at 5. So, it's like you say, I've got to go on my day off or on the weekend. I feel like we need to change times, don't we? In Spain, when it gets really hot, they close between 1 and 2, is it? I could be wrong. Or is it 12 and 3? So that's the hottest time, obviously, when the sun is in the middle of the frigging sky. And it's so hot, a lot of the shops in Spain close at that time, so they don't serve anyone. And everyone knows that. All the locals know that. And I feel like we need to do it with all these heat waves. We need to close half of the stuff. So yes, that's a very good point. That is a proper British problem. And that is something we do need to sort out. Thank you so much, Cumulus Crafts. I am going to do a weird news story and call it a day. This one is quite interesting. It's about food. California father pleads guilty to micro-dosing his 9 and 11-year-old kids with magic mushrooms. Of course he does. Oh, God, let's find out what this story is about. It's all the way from San Diego in California. Now, a father was admitted to court on Friday to regularly dosing his 2 young sons with hallucinogenic mushrooms while operating an illegal drug business in San Diego. The bit that worries me, regularly. Now, I thought he'd done it as a one-off, but this guy was giving his 2 kids mushrooms. That is crazy. Randall Vance, who's 43 years old, happy birthday, pleaded guilty in a federal court to multiple drug charges, including conspiracy to employ minors to help cultivate, produce, and distribute mushrooms at locations in Fallbrook and Bonsall. which is the North County of San Diego. Vance of Fallbrook pleaded guilty to conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance. He got 2 counts of distributing a substance to minors and a conspiracy to obstruct the justice. He admitted his sons were 9 and 11 when he started. In his plea, Vance said he used 2 websites. Oh, I didn't even know you can buy them. I won't tell you what they are, just for legal reasons. But it's called psillyrabbit.com. And he's got an Instagram page called psillyrabitka. I believe they're probably taken down now, so it doesn't really matter. To market and sell these dried, freezed mushrooms. So he did chocolates and capsules as well, which contained psilocybin, which is a hallucinogenic compound found in psychedelic mushrooms. According to this press release, Vance provided these capsules to his oldest son, who was 12 at the time, to sell to his friends. He's got his 12-year-old son to sell it to his mates. That is crazy. He also provided the products to his wife to distribute to others. He was running a full family drug mushroom operation. Vance reportedly began dosing the 2 boys every other day, beginning in October in 2023. He eventually increased the dose to every day in March. Oh, you know, like, that's what they do, don't they? These drug lords, they kind of just like give out free drugs, so they get high, then they sell it on. But imagine selling it to your own kids. This is crazy. In a way, I'm glad he's got caught, isn't it? Because you know what, that's abuse. That's torture and abuse to your own children. Unbelievable. Mr. Vance made a statement that he microdosed his children and he takes full responsibility. But many of his statements were either exaggerated or wholly dishonest in an attempt to ease the anxiety of his friends and relatives seeking to replace the pharmaceutical prescription with mushrooms for medical purposes. Blair said in a statement to the news, "Some of my doses, my client said he gave the children 0.2 grams every other day. Would have caused significant long-term effects, and the children have always denied they felt any mind-altering effects from any supplements or mushrooms given by their father." Vance was originally interested in using the psychedelic compounds for potential therapeutic treatment for Lyme disease and mental illness that his wife has got. Although he did provide his son with a dose, Blair said the 2 boys now live with their grandmother. I wonder what she's doing with them. Mr. Vance regretfully put his family in a horrible situation, says his lawyer. Despite the children are thriving and getting straight A's in school, oh really? Maybe there is some good to it. Extremely well adjusted, showing no signs of harm from any resident exposure to illicit substances. Vance began the operation believing California would legalize it one day, similar to the way they have with cannabis. Blair said those plans ended with the governor, who devoted it in 2023, about having mushrooms. So San Diego County Sheriff deputies and drug enforcement executed search warrants on his arrest. Now, the Fallbrook location authorities recovered around about 204 pounds of fresh hallucinogenic mushrooms, 53 pounds of dried mushrooms, and materials and equipment used to grow and harvest it. This is what they've done. They found 25 pounds of dried mushroom, 5 pounds of psychedelic capsules. They found 4 handguns and 2 rifles. This guy wasn't messing around, was he? Vance wasn't not messing about. Blair admittedly denied that firearms were related to his client's operation. You gotta love the lawyers, don't you? In his plea for guilty, Vance also admitted to conspiring to destroy evidence by removing the websites and deleting his messages on his kids' phones. That's crazy. Vance is scheduled to be sentenced in September. Oh, I don't know what they're gonna take him down, aren't they? They are. Now what's happened to his wife? His wife, Rebecca, and her friend
I've also pleaded guilty and awaiting sentencing on July. Oh, so both the mum and the dad are going to get taken down, aren't they? I can just see it. And the kids are going to end up just staying with Granny. At least they've got a story to tell, haven't they? Magic mushrooms, what will be next? Hey guys, if you enjoyed my episode, thank you so much. Remember, you can buy me a coffee. That helps support this podcast. Staying alive. So yes, do that, and thank you so much for listening. I will see you lot in the next episode, which is obviously going to be next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.